Hello, Emil Kadlec and Armando Marsal for the first Football Diehards Best Ball Mock Draft. How you doing, Armando?
I'm doing well, Emil. Here, excited to do this. It's our first show, and it's exciting. We got a lot of good things. We're going to be doing this all season, and we got an MFL about to get rolling.
Yes, sir. And let's see. I had pick 6, and you have 10.
Yep, you're the 6th pick, and I'm the 10th pick.
And the draft's
12
about to
teams.
start pretty soon here. Let me flip to a screen. We'll show the screen in a minute. Oh, we still.
Yep.
How much time before the draft? 6 seconds. Hey, let's put the
10.
draft up. There it is. So now you don't have to look at both our faces. We have the first player taken, Le'Veon Bell. Surprising or not?
There it is. Not surprising. Well, Ezekiel Elliott number 2 is surprising to me.
There we go. Bang, bang. Let me get my little marker out here. Now I have the 6th pick. That actually may be a difficult decision.
It might. I mean,
I like David Johnson, but I don't. Oh, never mind.
He
He's
just
not
went.
there.
Gurley went 3. David Johnson went 4. So that's pretty much the top 4 picks. I didn't expect it in that order, but not surprised that these are the top 4 guys going. I'm expecting Antonio Brown to go next, and he did at 5. So you're on the clock now.
And I have to log in here. I'm not logged in. I got 60 seconds, right?
45 now.
Sorry. Never prepared.
Worst case scenario, if you can't get on time, you will be auto picking Alvin Kamara. He's the next person on the queue.
So what do you think? Would you take Kamara or would you take a receiver?
I would probably go running back. We talked about this a little bit before. I'll probably go Fournette here. I'm really high on him. I have him 5th in my rankings among running backs here.
Well, obviously,
I'll probably go him or Hopkins. I think are the 2 ideal picks there.
Hey, I think I got 7 seconds. I'm going to go Kamara. That should be popping up any second here.
It did. You did get Kamara, so.
Yeah, so, that pretty tells me I don't like the 6th spot.
Yeah, that's one of those spots I really do not like this year. I like the either the front end or the back end of the drafts. I think I think you can make things it's easier. So I am on the clock, and after you took Kamara, Hopkins, Barkley, and Fournette went.
Yeah, they're drafting fast here.
Yeah. I really wanted to go with Fournette, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going Odell Beckham. I like him quite a bit. I think he's going to have a really good season so long as he stays healthy.
And you like Eli to have a comeback season, which of course Joe's with that pick.
Correct. I have an article up on the site, on footballdiehards.com, and it's just when you look at last year, there was a lot of things that went wrong, and I think a lot of those situations or whatnot have been fixed this year. You got a better offensive line, an actual capable running back that can run the ball effectively in the backfield, and Beckham is healthy, so I really think this offense as a whole bounces back.
Yeah. Now, if I was prepared better with the 6th pick and I was busy trying to get the prep going, because really when I take that first pick, as we talked at in previous discussions, I really need to look at who's going to be available with my 2nd round pick before I decide whether to go to Kamara. I was going to go Hopkins or Kamara, and I didn't have time to think about it. So we'll see if there's a good receiver available here in another 5 picks with my pick.
Yeah. And then right after me, Dalvin Cook went.
Yep.
Kareem Hunt and Melvin Gordon. And now Julio Jones, and I'm on the clock. This is a situation where I haven't done this in any draft that I've done this year, but I am going to take a different approach just because I'm going to adjust on how the draft has come to me. So I'm going to take Keenan Allen here in the second round and go with 2 receivers.
Man, I don't know what I'm going to do here. This will be interesting.
Yeah, this is the first time I've actually gone receiver. I've been trying to get the running back, but I'm basically clearing out the draft the way it's coming at me. There are several running backs I do like that I could take in there, but I also like some that I can maybe get in that third, fourth round.
Well, McCaffrey goes, so that's the 11th running back gone in this draft.
Yeah, they're flying. Running backs are flying. I think, that's kind of why I like this tail end, because if, you can kind of, if someone's going heavy running backs, you can maybe take a different approach. And then on the way back, I think there will be more wide receivers. We'll see some tight ends go and maybe a quarterback go. So some of these, running backs that I'm interested in, for instance, I like Joe Mixon quite a bit. I think he could maybe land to me in the next round. Jay Ajayi is someone I've been, speaking highly of so far this offseason. Another guy that can land to me in the next couple of rounds. So,
I didn't like what happened to me here. And maybe it would have been better for me. I don't know what would have been better, but I took Davante Adams, so I have a mix. And I do have him ranked as my 6th receiver, and my top 11 running backs are gone. So, logic tells me to go with Davante Adams.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, I like him. I have no problem with him, as your number one there.
And if I'd have taken Hopkins instead of Kamara, I may have ended up taking Adams anyway. There goes your Mixon.
Correct. Yep, there goes my Mixon. I guess he's, moving up boards now. I also like the pick before Devontae Freeman. I really think he's in for a big season this year. And that offense, I think, is kind of sneaky.
Are you worried about him sharing with Coleman?
I mean, Coleman will, I think, cut into his work, but I still think Freeman is the back to own in that offense.
Yeah, he definitely is. All right, here we are. We almost made it to,
wow.
Oh my, here are the first tight end.
There you go. Mixon, Howard, Gronk. Pretty interesting to see that there.
Oh, doubled up. Look at there.
And
two
Kelsey,
tight ends in a row.
There you go. 2 tight ends to wrap up the second round there. To me, it's pretty interesting. I wasn't expecting that.
No, I was not expecting him to go both of them that quickly. Man, this is going to be a tough choice coming up here. I don't like, I don't have somebody that I'm just loving that's available right now.
There's still a couple guys. So you have one receiver, one running back, right?
Yes, I do. Stephon Diggs just went. The second pick in the third round.
And Stephon Diggs went back-to-back here in the first 2 picks of the third round. That's, I like that. I like that. I kind of leaning more towards Stephon Diggs than I am Adam Thielen, but I think they're both right there, neck and neck this season.
Wow.
Mike Evans and Jerick McKinnon. You see, I think Mike Evans might have taken Mike Evans ahead of those 2 Minnesota receivers. I know he's going to be without Winston for some time, but still think the upside is there. Very close, though, for me.
Yep.
McKinnon going there seems about right. Seems kind of where he's been going.
Okay.
See, that's someone that I'm not too excited about his ADP. I think that's pretty expensive considering, some of the changes
recall his
on that
ADP.
offense.
Well, actually, it's about in this area, but
yeah, it is.
Not a PPR dynamo.
No. But this is best ball, so.
Yep. All right.
That makes sense.
I don't like anything I'm doing here, so I'm going to do something. It's not horribly unusual, but I'm going to vote for Andrew Luck, and I'm going to take his number one receiver.
I love that pick. I expect. I've been taking him as much as possible, and we're going to see it. I think we're going to see his ADP continue to rise as you see Andrew Luck, performing well and hearing positive news out of training camp and preseason from him. So I do. There we go. So we have Alex Collins and Derrick Henry off the board.
This draft
I
is going
really
quickly.
like Derrick Henry this year. I'm in the minority, but I like him quite a bit. Brandon
Excellent.
Cooks just went,
Looks like your pick.
and it looks like I am on the clock here. So I'm going to go with, I mentioned earlier, I'm, pretty high on him. I need to get a running back, so I'm going with Jay Ajayi.
Sounds good. He could explode. He's got high
He
ceiling.
can. He definitely does, and so far the reports appear that he's going to get the workload that's yet to be seen. But I'm going to go ahead and believe that.
Yeah, well, that's part of drafting. Is you got to you look at the analysis, see what you're hearing, decide what you believe, and stay confident during your draft.
Yep.
Even though you've adjusted, you were hoping Fournette fell to you. Next thing you know, you got two receivers, but you were able to adjust your draft, and you fall on those players that you like you liked Ajayi. You said, okay, I'm going to take two receivers, and then I'm going to take Ajayi. He's my number one running back.
Yeah, exactly. And there, Kenyon Drake went. So there's another, running back that I was kind of eyeing in this, round, this next two rounds. So
yep. So three more picks,
and
two more picks, and it's your pick.
Yeah. So I can just tell you right off the board, this approach is not one I'm too excited about going heavy wide receiver early. Simply because I think, you should really try to get one of these every down backs. But like I said, I adjusted, and I'm going to make the best move forward. So I'm going to continue on this, approach, I think, considering what's available here.
Well, another thing to look at is you now have got to find a running back maybe between the 4th and the 6th round here that will be an RB2 or a high RB2, maybe even a low RB1 for you. And if you can do that and have Beckham and Keenan Allen, you're going to have a great team.
Oh, yeah. And that's an interesting pick there.
Yeah. And I'm going to have to decide a few picks after you. You and I are kind of in a similar situation, 2 receivers, 1 running back.
And
oh yeah, it's your pick. Sorry.
all right, so I'm going to go with a receiver here that I think is going to get plenty of volume this year, and the upside's there. And he's my number 3 receiver, so I'm going to go with Allen Robinson.
Oh, very good. I like that. So 3 receivers and a running back.
Yeah, it's not an approach I've been taking at all this offseason. We've done a ton of mock drafts together. Mm-hmm. I typically try to get these running backs early, but like again, and not to be redundant, just considering how this draft, fell my way, I adjusted and kind of going the opposite of everyone else right now.
Well, what's interesting now on my cheat sheet, I've got my picking 3 more picks after me. You got Penny, you got Royce Freeman, you got these rookie running backs, you got Lamar Miller. It's a little dicier now. Obviously, crikey, like 18. Oh, that was the guy I was hunting down was Baldwin, so he's gone.
I'm a little concerned about his
coming up here.
Yeah. And you'll see it gets tricky pretty quick. You really gotta find a comfort zone in lineup construction and in your roster build and go with that. And something I just don't panic. As long as you get 1 running back that could potentially carry the workload, and I think I got that in Ajayi. Mm-hmm. I'm okay. Now I might just pick up a bunch of running backs like you mentioned. Ronald Jones, the question marks, and then hoping 1 or 2 of those pan out.
Sure.
And could be
the other thing is a good point to tell the listeners, and this is a live draft, so we're not playing around here. We're reacting live, and it's a 60-second clock. As you prepare for your drafts and as you do practice drafts, you've got to have sleepers at running back and receiver ready to pull out of your hat. given the way of the flow of the draft, you got to say, great, I'm going to take these early running receivers like you have and like I have, and I've got a sleeper running back that I can get later that I believe in. You got to have those in your working system. If you're not, you are going to be kind of lost.
Correct. And adjust. That's something I've written in articles before. I've said on podcasts. You just adjust to drafts because you can prepare for a draft as much as possible, and it might not go the way you have been planning it to go. We see things change in a hurry, and
this draft's flying along here, isn't it?
It is. So maybe we can update. So after my Allen Robinson pick, Doug Baldwin, Aaron Rodgers, LaShawn McCoy, Jarvis Landry, Fitzgerald, Mark Ingram, Zach Ertz, Amari Cooper, Marvin Jones, and Alshon Jeffrey just went. So it's been pretty active here.
Yeah, very active. And I took Landry. I just like the fact that if Landry is just going to get a lot of targets, even though it's a bad team. And if Josh Gordon doesn't play the whole year, oh man, Landry's going to get a lot of targets.
Yeah, I mean, I have mixed feelings about Landry because to me it's all about if he gets the volume or not. If he gets the volume, I mean, we've seen what he's capable of doing in PPR formats, and this is a PPR format, so you can definitely be getting, a wide receiver one without a doubt. I'm just a bit concerned about whether he's going to actually get it or not. This is an interesting pick here. This is someone that I see is moving up a lot of rankings and moving up a lot of draft boards, and that's Rex Burkhead. Appears that a lot of people are buying into it, and it's a tricky situation if you ask me. You're never going to know with these Patriots running back what to expect, but I do think Burkhead has the potential to be a very, very, productive running back on this offense.
Yeah, and then early in the season he may get a lot of opportunities and starts because Sonia Mitchell and Michelle is, not practicing right now because he got hurt.
Yeah.
Ooh, Edelman's fairly early. That's earlier than I expected.
Well, I think we just saw, 3 Patriots go back-to-back and a former Patriot. So we got Rex Burkhead, Chris Hogan, Julian Edelman, and former Patriot Dion Lewis. That's too early for me for Dion Lewis. I think he's going to have a decent role on this offense, but I really, really believe that this is going to be, Henry getting the majority of the workload here.
All right, I'm going to do something a little different here. I'm taking Royce Freeman for Denver, running back, over Penny or any of the other ones available right now. That may be a little risky, but I'm hoping he ends up the guy.
I think that's fine. I think they're all pretty much bunched into a similar category where you just don't know. Lamar Miller went.
I just feel a little bit better with the Denver offensive line, and I think Royce Freeman looked pretty good week 1 in preseason, although preseason is an impossible thing to read. And Correct. It's your pick. And the
you were right, sir.
Fourth tight end went in Evan Ingram. Lamar Miller, who's another guy I was thinking of. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was actually had Miller on my board as my top running back to take here, but I'm gonna go with Penny. I want another running back here. I like Rashad Penny. I've seen some reports where he's improving in the pass protection, and I think that's very important. It's something that we don't see on the stat lines and on the game log, and that's important for especially a young running back to be able to block. And if he's improving there, he can see more time on the field, which is very important.
Excellent. Of course, I was flipping a coin between Penny and Royce Freeman, and I just decided to go with Freeman. So here we are with 2 running backs after 5 rounds, both of us, and one of them is a rookie. So a little bit of a risk.
And then we saw Tevin Coleman went ahead of Lamar Miller. And then Evan Ingram went right before I picked Rashad Penny. Now, Kerryon Johnson, that's someone that, it's being hyped a ton. I don't know if he's going to, get as much work as people think. You know, they did get LeGarrette Blount, and I think that's something that, you know, you have to pay attention to, because I think he's going to have a role as well. I think there's going to be a committee here.
Yeah, I agree. Lots of rookie running backs gone now.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so we are the beginning of round 6. Emmanuel Sanders went. We've already got 5 tight ends gone. What's your strategy on tight end right now?
I'm going to wait.
It's your pick.
So let me see. Yeah, I'm on the clock here. Let's see. There's one guy I really like. It's a big question mark, but I think, you know, I think if he does play, I'm getting a great receiver here. That's going to be Josh Gordon. I have 0 shares of him, but again, this is best ball. This is upside. I'm looking for upside here, and he provides a ton of that.
Absolutely. I mean, if this guy comes back, he could be a number one. He could be a wide receiver 1.
Yeah, and we just don't. This is a situation where it's very unknown. There's positive reports and then there's negative reports. I'm willing here to go ahead and I take a risk simply because I just don't see that there's anything really concrete that I'm looking for. So I'm willing to take that risk. The running back here is very thin already. There's no one that really pops up at me.
I'm going to do something crazy if I can find his name. I haven't checked ADP. I'm kind of off ADP right now, looking at my cheat sheet, and I'm going to take a little flyer here on a wide receiver 1 that's a second-year player, and that is Corey Davis. Probably a little early.
I actually had him penciled in as well as a potential. I just wanted to go with Gordon. I have very little shares of him, and sometimes doing that, diversifying your rosters is something I like to do.
That's a good point. I've got Davis ranked my 27th wide receiver, and I only have 2 receivers before him, who I won't mention right now, rated before him, although it's funny how I have a cheat sheet and then you never go by the cheat sheet, which means you should change your cheat sheet or something. But second quarterback gone.
Yeah, no, two in a row just went.
Oh, yeah.
So Wilson.
Gotcha.
I actually moved Wilson down my board a little bit. That O-line is pretty bad. Doug Baldwin's injury is concerning to me. And he lost, a big weapon in Jimmy Graham. So Duke Johnson, I like that pick. I was considering him. I was hoping he would, come back to me in the next round. But that was wishful thinking on my end. I still think he's going to have a role, maybe not as big as of a role as he had last year, but he's still a great pass catcher. They paid him the big bucks. He's going to be a part of this offense and one of the focal points, I think.
Yeah, his role probably hasn't changed a lot. He's going to be in passing situations. Hyde does catch the ball, but he probably hasn't changed. People, like you said, just forgot about him.
Correct. There goes Tom Brady.
I worry about him. His second half performance has slumped the last few years, and you kind of really want him in the playoffs.
Correct.
Michael Crabtree, the second player in the 7th round.
See, the number 2 QB on my rankings has yet to be taken, and there's 4 quarterbacks already off the board.
I bet Cam Newton's your number 2 quarterback.
He sure is. He sure is.
Well, he's my number 3 quarterback. Now the question is, do I like him this much?
I'm going to wait. I like getting a ton of running backs and receivers early on, and then I'll focus on, some of the.
Well, I'm imbalanced. Of course, you and I have the same situation. I've got whatever it is. This thing just covered up my players, and I can't see them. But 4 running backs and 2 receivers. Wow, this guy's draft quickly. Let's see. Woods just went. That's why I wanted to take Davis in the previous round. I don't think he would have lasted to me. And that's that point in the draft where you have to say to yourself, is this guy going to be here in the next round? And if you say no, then it's time to either draft him or forget about it.
Correct. And that's a good point right there. No, and that's why I beat the drum on just throwing ADP out the window, because if you want your guy, you go get him.
Well, I'll explain that in a minute. But see, Isaiah Crowell, I'm gonna do something weird and take Crowell. There's a guy or two ahead of him. I got one guy ahead of him, but I'm going with Crowell. Again, I'm not going with my cheat sheet. Oh, Rudolph. Oh, well, that hurts. But it isn't throwing away ADP. Of course, you and I will have a lovely time over this preseason arguing about ADP. It is about ADP. His ADP is going to be, he's going to be taken by the next pick. So I've got to decide whether I want to move up. So it's a little different perspective of ADP, I guess. You're on the clock, my friend.
I am here and talking about potentially throwing ADP out the window here. I'm thinking of doing something here. Let me see.
Goodwin's a little higher than usual. I guess said he's the number one receiver now in San Francisco. And he's been going a lot higher in recent drafts than before.
So here's a good example here. You know what? I typically wait, but he's still there. I'm going to get him. I'm going Cam Newton. Typically, I'm waiting longer for the quarterback.
Wait a minute. You just sat there preaching this whole draft, how you're late QB, even about Cam Newton, who I mentioned. But I do like your pick. I think it's the right time to take him. There's nothing wrong. He's what, 1, 2, 3, 4. He's the fifth quarterback taken, and I have him higher than the fifth quarterback, and you do too.
Yeah, and just when I'm looking at my roster and I'm looking at what's available, I think there are the player I wanted. I highly think I can get him in the next round, and it's going to be a reach. Definitely is going to be a reach. But
this is the time as you get later in the draft. You got to go get your players, and you've got to think about, is he going to last all the way around? You have the 10th pick. There's going to be 18 players taken after your 8th round pick before you get to your 9th round pick.
Correct.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and that's something you have to consider. And that's why, taking, the edges, that's why I prefer the pick on the edges, because you can kind of work your teams around knowing that you're not going to get picks for a while and be able to take chances and risks. So there you go. Jordy Nelson went after me, Chris Thompson, Trey Burton, Jamison Crowder. All right, so there's a running back I have pretty decent expectations for, just because, and this is only in PPR formats, just because reports are that he is going to be very involved. Obviously, you can take these things with a grain of salt because we just don't know. But Ty Montgomery, we've seen him, be very involved in this offense, and with some of the, Jordy Nelson no longer there, I think there's plenty of targets to go around, and I think he will benefit Montgomery. That is, and he's my, my third running back here. Obviously, that's not exciting by any means.
Well, he's a previous wide receiver. You've got the number one quarterback throwing to him this year. He's going to get a lot of opportunities catching the ball, and we don't know what's going to happen to that backfield. It's a guess. Oh,
there was another running back that I liked quite a bit, or not quite a bit, but that I was okay with, but dealing with injuries and stuff, so not.
Well, I got a tough situation. I've got 45 seconds here to decide. Wow. Oh man, do I really want to? I really wanted Troy Burton here, and it seems like I'm always waiting one last round. I just don't draft him soon enough.
He went in the first pick of the 8th round.
Yeah, he went about 5 picks before my pick. Okay, I got 23 seconds. Let me think for a moment. This is, I don't know. All right, how much do I have? 15 seconds. I don't want to do a quarterback. I don't want to do a tight end. I'm running out of time. Let me just take this guy. I'm going to take Sony Michel, or however you pronounce it.
Yeah, he's the one I said that I'm interested in. He's dealing with injuries. Just not sure how that's going to play out.
He's got tremendous talent. I can't expect him to play the first
upside
3 or 4 weeks, in my opinion. So I'm going to have to sit him, and hopefully he becomes a second half player and helps me in the playoffs. Tons of talent.
Yeah.
And now I have 2 rookie running backs on my roster. Is that smart?
And that's fine. Well, the thing is, if any of them pan out, that's the question. And that's obviously, we'll see later on. But you got Royce Freeman, which, could potentially be the RB1 on in Denver. So there's not a ton of talent in that backfield. So I can totally see him, run away with the starting position, with the starting job, and getting the majority of the workload here. And then you got, a very talented back that can be used in many ways in Sony Michel here. And it's just a matter of if he can, beat out Rex Burkhead for the majority of the carries, because right now it looks like Burkhead is the favorite.
Well, I think Burkhead's going to play, several weeks as the number 1 running back. So here's best ball, and here I am looking in the 8th round, and this guy may really be valuable as a best ball player for 3/4 of the season.
There you go, Aguilar going early here, and that's probably because of the Alshon Jeffrey news.
Yeah.
And I actually told Bob today we spoke, and I told him you're going to see Aguilar start going much earlier, and it's going to be a premium. I didn't expect Jeffrey to go as early as he did in this draft, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, after the news, people might be a little skeptical on him.
Now, another thing, by the way, because this is a best ball, usually you're seeing 2 quarterbacks going, and maybe sometimes 3, depending on strategy, which we can talk about in a little while. So it's another reason why taking quarterbacks a little earlier than a normal draft. But this isn't, quarterbacks aren't running off the board yet. We just saw another one go in Roethlisberger with the first pick in the 9th round. So that means I better be thinking quarterback here in 5 more picks.
I think there's time.
Yeah, well, you can say that. You got a quarterback.
There's actually another quarterback I like a ton. And, I might be changing my perspective as far as how I'm drafting soon.
Man, I'll tell you what. That's going to be funny. Robbie Anderson. Hopefully he's going to play close to 16 this games. We don't know about potential suspensions that are looming.
I think he's someone going just kind of overlooked because of the whole, unknown with his suspension, or unknown with any potential suspension, I guess. And I think that, this is a Jets. I like that pick. I like that Marlon Mack pick at the end of the 8th round.
Which pick are you talking about?
No, the Marlon Mack pick at the.
That is a good pick. Yeah. Look at White. Look at James White going in the 3rd pick in the 9th round.
That's interesting to me. White is someone I try to target late in drafts, because I do think that he's gonna have a role. He's had a role in this offense for pretty much the last 2-3 seasons.
Now there's an interesting Jordan Reed.
I think that's a very good pick. The upside's certainly there. You just have to pretty much get an insurance policy here.
Yeah, I was thinking about Reed, but I decided I got to go a quarterback. And so I take an injured quarterback. What the heck?
There goes Wentz.
Yeah, that was me. And there's Carson going. Oh, here goes the quarterbacks.
The quarterback run has begun.
So
Wentz, Garoppolo goes.
That's your pick. I'll ask you a question after you pick.
Let me see here. All right, so here we go. Something I typically wait on. Again, I'm going to go for it. We talk about best ball, and this guy has 2 touchdowns upside.
Yeah. Good pick. I like that one.
I
He could have a
don't
great
like the
year.
fact that I have, yeah, and I don't like the fact that I have two Cleveland Browns on my team. That that's not something I typically like to do, but I don't want to miss out on the potential tight end run because I see a couple went just now.
Yeah, I'm
See,
hurting
that's the
pretty
other
bad.
quarterback I had penciled in. See,
Luck?
that's the other quarterback. Yeah, I think he, assuming he stays out there. And there you go, Drew Brees. That's another great pick here. I think those are two really strong picks in this ninth round. Andrew
I
Luck and Drew
personally am
Brees.
avoiding Breeze just because of the running game, but obviously his history is quite excellent.
I think the first 4 weeks, and he's someone I'll be targeting in DFS most likely because without Mark Ingram there, I don't think they're going to be able to run as much as they did last year.
You're probably right. Okay, what do we got here? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'm going to do in my next pick. You've got to pick in two more picks. Looks like everybody's got one quarterback except two people. The second and the third drafters. Interesting. Yeah, I'm really hurting oh, look at the double quarterback run. And that again is the problem with being on the 12th pick. You've got 22 picks before your next pick, and it's a best ball. And some people do double up when you're on those ends. And there's Mahoney. So I guess I'm glad I took a quarterback before this run.
Yeah.
And it's your pick.
So, all right. So here I'm going to go ahead and take Jamal Williams. I like doing this type of thing when there's a potential running back by committee in best ball because you might hit on one of the. I know Aaron Jones is also in this backfield. But I think, being that he's suspended the first two games, if Williams or Montgomery have, a strong, game or two early on, Jones might be left behind here. So Williams is currently the number one on the depth chart for the Green Bay, and Montgomery, I believe, is the number two. So I got the top two running backs, depth chart wise, on a potentially high scoring offense, and I'm okay with that in best ball.
Somebody just took. I was going to take Goff, Jared Goff, and somebody took him just before me. I'm going to take a quarterback here. I got 45 seconds, and the reason I'm going to take a quarterback is I like to get two solid quarterbacks in all my leagues, including best ball. And there's two players around the loop here that don't have a quarterback. So I think there's going to be a slight run continuing. And I've got Stafford with a bye week 6 and Rivers with a bye week 8. Even though I have Stafford ahead of him, I think I'm going to go Rivers, but I got 20 seconds to kind of mull over this. All right, I'm going to go Rivers. Always scares me to take Rivers, but at the end of the year, he's a top 6 quarterback.
He's been getting it done, He's been getting it done, so I don't fault you for that pick there. Not at all.
Well, I don't want to get you to get another good quarterback, Just kidding.
I'm going to get a good quarterback. It's just going to be like maybe 4 rounds later.
Well, you and I will argue about whether Eli Manning is a good quarterback or not. Man, this draft is going stills.
He can be exciting sometimes and frustrating. So it's the best of both worlds. The good thing is I don't have to worry about starting him and putting him in my lineup. If he has that big game, I'm going to be getting those points.
That's right. Yeah. That's an excellent position for a guy like that. Now, look at this. We've got 2 defenses gone in the 10th round. Is that just a best ball phenomena, or do you think it's too early?
So for best balls, it's a little different because you want to lock yourself into defenses. I still wait to the end of the draft because, I don't mind just picking 2 whatever defenses. I don't think that the defense is going to be the reason why you win or lose one of these best balls. And I think just loading up on running backs and receivers, and as long as you have, 2, maybe 3 quarterbacks and a couple tight ends, I think just focusing on loading up on running backs and receivers is probably the most optimal way to go because of the injuries, the bye weeks, just so many things occur. And these are the 2 positions that, have the most value in fantasy football, I think. This is all dependent on your league, of course. But in this best ball format, I just like loading up on running backs and receivers.
How many receivers do I have? Let me look. I got to start thinking here. I only have 4 receivers now. So my
think I got
receiver-heavy scenario. Look at there. Another quarterback goes.
I got 4 running backs, 4 receivers, a tight end, and a quarterback right now.
Yes.
Something I don't pay attention to that you should be paying attention to in best ball is bye weeks. I think that it's not, the end all be all, but there are going to be weeks. Right now I have 3 running backs. 3 of my 4 running backs are going to be on bye in week 7. So that's something I have to take into consideration the rest of the way.
Okay. One more pick before me. And I kind of liked Kelvin Benjamin. I thought I could get him another round later, but he did have a good preseason game, which unfortunately people see, just like in Njoku, who you got, which is a great pick in that 10th round. When did you get him? 10th? You got him 9th.
Oh.
Right, my pick.
9. Yeah, 9.
All right, I'm going to take a tight end. I'm just a little worried. If you go around the loop here, most people have tight ends. One guy doesn't, but some people may double up. And I just want to get one, and I don't want to get really stuck. And I'm going to take a super risk player, Tyler Eifert. You'll yell at me in about week 3 when I'm saying, why did I do that?
I like that pick just now, the Tyler Lockett right behind you. I think that's a really good best ball pick here, especially when, there's the injury concern about Baldwin. So I'm on deck here. Got a couple guys here in my queue that I'm eyeing. And I am going to get one of them. So not excited about this, but in a PPR format, and considering the way my roster is constructed right now, I'm going to go with Theo Riddick. Maybe a round or 2 earlier than he's going, but I'm okay with that. He's
cool.
Just, very involved in the passing game here for Detroit.
Yes. And that probably shouldn't change this year at all.
I don't think so. And I don't anticipate this is going to be a team, considering the division they're in, that's going to be playing ahead a ton. So I could see Theo Riddick catching passes out of the backfield as they chase points.
Makes sense to me. Boy, I got a lot of possibilities here coming up, both at running back and receiver, that are kind of equal. Tough choices. Well, there goes Meredith. So you have 4 wide receivers, and you have 4 running backs, a quarterback, and a tight end, and it's your pick.
Let me see here.
You are quiet. That's good. Let's see. What is
I'm contemplating here. So
5
no,
running backs.
we talk about and so I'm gonna go ahead and complete here and get a receiver. I like what I saw of this young man, DJ Moore.
Oh yeah.
So
he definitely
he
made a statement in a preseason game saying he's going to be a big part of this offense. That's an excellent pick. Oh, there's my sleeper. Is Barber.
I agree with that. Actually, I agree with that quite a bit.
Yeah, I was hoping Peyton Barber would last, and he did not. As a matter of fact, I was thinking of taking Peyton Barber around the next round, and now I have to rethink that. Okay, I'm gonna, as we talked about before, we're starting to get to a point where we can get way off the ADP.
Yep.
And here's a guy who I was very disappointed in the last 2 years. Don't like him at all. He's starting to play a little better. And Jordan Reed talked him up. I'm going to believe Jordan Reed. I'm taking Josh Doxson.
Okay.
Is it that guy?
I mean,
Go ahead.
no, I like that pick.
Well, allegedly,
You know,
who do you believe? I haven't seen him in practice, but Reed has, and Jordan Reed says he's a new person, and it's the 12th round, and he's my 5th receiver, and if he becomes the number 1 receiver in Washington or even close to it, it's going to be a good value pick. And he's the kind of guy who's good for best ball. He has, he's not a slot where he's getting a bunch of catches every game. He's going to make big plays. Hopefully.
exactly. Yeah. So here, this has been an interesting round. Got Meredith, Chubb, and I went Moore, Trubisky, Peyton Barber, Murray, and Doxson and Lee. Did Lee just go Marquise Lee?
Yep,
there
Marcus
you go.
Lee
Tylen
just
Cameron
went.
Brate.
And I love Brate. The problem with Brate is you got Howard. And every time I think about taking Brate, I'm thinking, how much is Howard going to hurt him this year? And that's, it just bugs me. I just can't take Brate right now. And, of course, I wait and people take him.
Correct. And that's the thing. If you don't get your guy, someone else is going to take him. And that's like you've said a couple times. You do not want to wait on your player. You take him. You and I have both been burned a couple times in this draft alone.
I just did that with Doxson. My 5th receiver. Could have I waited another round? Probably. Maybe even another. Right. Who knows? But I'm looking at the sheet, and I like his potential upside, and I'm taking that quote-unquote 12th round risk. Calvin Ridley, Atlanta.
That's an interesting pick. I think it's good in best ball, because I do think the young receiver will have a couple of big games. It's just going to be tough to guess those games. So I think best ball makes a lot of sense for him here.
Yep. Who just went? Hines?
And I think that's very important. Yeah, Hines. I think that's very important to know the format you're playing because that does make a huge difference as to the value of some of these players. Really might not be someone in a redraft league I'm too excited to take because I'm going to be, making decisions on a weekly basis. And even in a good matchup, he might let you down because the volume might not be there as some other players, as we would see with some other players. So in best ball, though, since we don't have to make a decision, just take a shot on guys that have that type of upside with, big game upside, 2 touchdown game upside, and really, is one of those receivers where he has that big playability, I think. And I agree. Could have a couple big, touchdowns this season.
Ivory went.
Yeah, so here we go. We saw Perrine, Ivory, Miller, Anthony Miller, the next 3 after Hines. Perrine's interesting. That's going to be a backfield I just avoid now that Darius Geis is out for the season.
It has opportunity, though, does it not?
Yeah, but the thing is, it does have opportunity, but it's just such a backfield full of untalented running backs
that is a problem.
Just not interesting.
You can be untalented and get opportunities. Rashard Matthews, and then also it may not work. Oh, man, I've got decisions to make here.
There are still several. There's several players that are still very interesting. I mean, it's still a ton of interesting spots here, but there's one player in particular.
Cooper Kupp hasn't gone. That's a little surprising.
No, he went.
Oh, did he? Oh, good. I didn't mark it on me. That makes more sense.
Yeah, he went. Oh, I would have taken him a while ago. I have high expectations for him. I think.
Gotcha.
I think the Brandon Cooks. That doesn't scare me. The fact that they added him.
Okay, I better hurry up and make my decision here because I'm going to do exactly what you said I shouldn't do and take Robert Kelly.
that makes That makes sense, though.
He's the number one running back. I've got a number one in running back from a team in the 13th round.
And someone has to do it, right? Someone has to get the touches there.
He's in better shape this year, but, of course, it'd be nice if he could catch a few balls, too. That's the problem with him. Probably could have waited around, but I was kind of stuck when...
I don't know. I don't know if you could have waited around. Maybe. It's very close, but that's one of those chances that, you know what, you're cutting it close, I think. So I don't want to cut it close. I'm going with Jordan Wilkins here.
That was the other guy I was thinking of, was Wilkins.
So far, I've read just a ton of positive things. I
like him.
Marlon Mack is supposed to be the starting running back on this offense. He's already dealing with injuries. Hines is someone that is interesting as well, but
yeah,
it just, Wilkins there's been so many positive reviews and so many positive notes on him this offseason and, so far in the preseason that I
was flipping the coin between him and Kelly, actually. So I'm glad I left you Wilkins so you could be happy.
Otherwise, I would have been talking about Eli Manning, I guess.
Well, you could probably get him in a couple, 3 rounds. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
That's a semi-joke, by the way.
No, I know.
Well, 17 quarterbacks have gone. Oh, Godwin went. I was thinking about him, too, for Tampa Bay. I'm obviously not. I'm a little behind in my mental preparation for this draft, but hopefully I'll be good. All right, your pick. Mike Williams, wide receiver for the Chargers, just went. And I can't find my players on here. You are in good thought. I like it.
Trying to see what direction to go. I'm kind of looking at my roster to see if I'm, what I'm looking for here.
We've got 20 seconds.
Yeah, I have someone. If I can't figure this out. You know what? I figured it out already. There's someone I've been interested in. I think he's likely going to be the number one wide receiver.
That's my next pick. He just stole my next pick.
Yeah.
Moncrief.
And that's Dante Moncrief. Yeah. I think he has, the potential to be the number one wide receiver on this offense. Might not be much, but he potentially getting a wide receiver one up, on their offense in the 14th round. Mike Dempsey has been saying that, he believes and he follows the Jaguars. He pretty much discusses them at length and it's on their radio show. And he's been saying that Moncrief is is the favorite here to be the number one receiver for the Jaguars. So I like him here.
Yeah.
Mike Gesicki.
All right, we're back recording. So we missed a couple picks.
Yep. So if you want, we can.
Yeah, go ahead and.
So after I picked Moncrief, Gesicki went. Like I mentioned, those were the two players I was really in between that round 14, pick 3. After that, Kenny Golladay went. I think that's a good pick. Tyrell Williams went right after. Ryan Grant went to your team, if I'm not mistaken. Then Ted Ginn, Paul Richardson, Jameis Winston, Devontae Booker, Cortland Sutton, and James Washington. And now we're up to speed and up to date with the draft. Do any of these picks that you've seen go and that last couple of picks, any of these stand out to you? Anything?
Well, I like Paul Richardson. He's going to go somewhere, and it's a good value pick. I took Ryan Grant, who nobody remembers from Washington. He's potentially the opposite T.Y. Hilton as far as, the number one running receiver under Hilton. Of course, now I got both of them. And, Ginn's another guy. There's a lot of good guys here. Golladay, who's got potential. Yeah, these have been three. Oh, and then Benjamin Watson, who's my second tight end, who's now gone. So I got to decide what I'm doing. I get one pick before my pick.
I really like that Grant pick. There.
He's the non-sexy pick, but
I think it's an interesting. I have a non sexy player on my queue, and I think he might be interesting.
Well, hopefully I can come up with one here in a couple seconds. We've got, if the guy before me can give me a little more time, I can think, and he did not. I'm up and I'm not ready.
Yeah,
Interesting.
It happens.
All right. Well, I do have somebody I've been thinking about. Let me go to the system here and see if I can find him. Maybe he's already been taken.
Who is that?
Giovanni Bernard. Did he already go? Looks like he
I believe he did go. I believe he did.
Okay, so for the people listening right now, don't do what I just did and not be prepared for your pick.
And
God,
Doug Martin
I really
just
want
went in.
this guy. Go ahead.
No. I'm just saying Doug Martin just went. Since you're thinking, I'll talk a little bit here. And that, it's a weird situation. You got Lynch, Martin, and Martin's just a couple years ago was relevant. I don't know if he can go back to what he's been before, but I don't know. This offense is really built, awkward. The Oakland Raiders it is, so it's tough to really, aside from Cooper, it's very tough to figure that out there. It's a situation I'm avoiding, but I think Martin in the 15th round is pretty good value for what he's capable of doing. Mohamed Sanu, the guy I was telling you, the non-sexy pick I had in my queue, I really think that he is someone going vastly overlooked here. And in this round, it's just a steal. He's still the number 2 wide receiver here. He is. Well, I'm on the clock, so give me one second here.
And actually, as you prepare for your pick, Quincy Enunwa is another guy who, assuming he's coming back here and he hasn't played much or he hasn't played at all in preseason, he could be a really nice pick, and you can get him very late, obviously, because he's under the radar. Let's put it that way. So let's see. What are you going to do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide receivers. And it looks like you got about 6 running backs. Are you going to put your second quarterback on your roster here?
So I'm contemplating right now, but I just looked, and the other 2 guys behind me both have 2 quarterbacks. So I don't.
And that's
need
an
to
excellent
do that
point.
just yet.
That's a perfect scenario, and this is to look at your board and realize that there's probably not going to be another quarterback go, and you can do something different. Oh, Deshaun Jackson.
Yes. Yeah, so I went to Deshaun Jackson. Not super excited about it. But, it's best ball, and he's still that receiver that can get you a couple big games out of the season. And in this 15th round, I'm okay with taking a player like that, especially late in the 15th round.
Uh-huh. Who am I looking at? I'm trying to look ahead a little here. There was a guy I just thought of, and I forgot him. Oh, there it is. Let me look. I don't want to take a receiver on that team. So let's see if your theory happened. We got two guys that are getting 2 picks before yours. I don't think they're taking another quarterback, personally.
I looked at the quarterbacks they have, and I don't see them going quarterback at all.
Now, one guy has already taken 3 quarterbacks, Team 7. He's got Cousins, Goff, and Bortles, so he's definitely stacking the deck there.
Well, the only one that might do it here is Bolts, and that's because he has Mahomes as his second quarterback. I don't know. Well, look, there you go. So it didn't happen. And now I'm not going to play any more games here. I'm taking my guy.
The 16th round, Eli Manning. Excellent.
Yes, sir.
Well, the way things are flying around here, I don't know if I'm going to get a second quarterback or third quarterback, because Bortles is kind of my guy as a third quarterback. So I got to start thinking.
If you want him, you got to take him in one of these next 2 rounds. I think that would be probably the ideal way to do it.
Is what now?
Has he not? I think he's been taken already.
Bortles? Yeah, Bortles is gone. That's why I was saying I probably won't take a third quarterback now.
Oh, okay. I thought you said okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
So there are still a couple guys here. You can take a flyer on, but
where are we at here? We're in the 16th round.
It's, and you want to get
close.
Two
We're almost done. I probably should take
two
defense here, is what I really should do.
Correct.
Which one is the question? All right, let's see what's going on.
I still got to get another tight end as well. So I got 4 picks, and I need to get one more tight end.
Okay.
And 2 defenses, leaving me basically just,
And we don't have kickers, so we have. All right, let me make my pick. I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Chargers as my defense. At least my first defense.
Which is a good fantasy defense.
Pardon?
No, which is a good fantasy defense. They find ways to score points here.
Gotcha.
Now, let me ask you, because this is something that I kind of considered, doing in a situation where maybe I want 3 quarterbacks, and instead of taking 2 defenses, I'll risk, getting a 0 from a defense 1 week. Either way, this is a position that at times can get you negative points. And just taking 1 defense, because you don't have to worry about the injury factor. All you're worrying about at that point is the bye week. So you're going to get 0 points on the bye week. But every other week, and I love that Austin Eckler pick. I really thought he was going to land to me. I was going to get him where I got Deshaun Jackson. And he was he was the guy I was targeting.
Look at the defense. I agree. I had him or a defense, and I just got a little scared about the defenses because I waited too long. You can't have them all.
And maybe I did, mess up there. See, that's when you get too cute sometimes, and that happens.
Yep. All right, a lot of decisions, even though we're down to the last 4 picks. I'm going to take a second defense, despite you thinking you're not going to. I like to have second defenses. And that leaves me with 3 more players. So I got probably another tight end, although I'm not really sure who to take right now. Everybody's taking all the tight ends. Tough choices.
Yeah, there's still several situations that are interesting here. Let me see. Okay. So I definitely need to get another tight end as well. That's without a doubt. It's just a matter of who. That's the question.
Yep.
And there is one out there that I think would make a ton of sense for you.
A tight end?
Yeah.
Well, you mean the backup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At this point, and the only reason why I would suggest it is because we saw last season Tyler Kroft be productive, during Eifert's, absence. So at least you're locking yourself in the tight end for the Bengals.
Yeah,
it would
that's a
just
good
be
point.
Very odd luck if they both get injured. But at that point, you can't.
Okay, I'm going back live. We're back live. You're on the clock.
I am, and I'm going to take a third quarterback here.
Whoa! What?
Yeah. Just because my number 2 quarterback and Eli Manning. I mean, I'm a realist. I have high expectations for him, but he is a very volatile quarterback.
Who are you going to take? I can't wait to see this.
I'm not excited about this either, but I'm going with Ryan Tannehill.
Tannehill?
He's not great, but I'm still getting a quarterback that can do it with his legs. It's just weird situation here in Miami, but so far reports have been pretty solid on him.
Well, if he's healthy, he has been a productive quarterback. It's not a horrible pick at all.
And he's my, QB3, and I like having, in case one player gets injured, I like having that, 2 quarterback option there.
So you're done at quarterback, and for you, for me, and for the listening audience, if I was to take a third quarterback, who else is left other than Tannehill that you've now taken that you think would be a worthy guy other
See,
than Baker Mayfield, who just went.
that was going to be my guy because that was really going to be, the guy I suggested because he's not starting right off the bat, but Cleveland drafted him to start him. So I do think that he will have a role at some point, and there are so many weapons on this offense that it's going to be tough to fail, to be honest with you.
Obviously, you don't want to overreact in a preseason game, but he showed some intangibles there. That one run he made to his left and then threw back over right-handedly and hit the receiver right in the middle of his chest, and that's a rookie. That was an excellent play.
Yeah. Oh, I am on the clock.
Oh, sorry about that. You're going to get auto-picked here, buddy.
So with the Alshon news,
okay.
I went Dallas
Dallas
here.
Got it.
Yep.